is Gen Z Central on Hot FM.
What's good, Joe? Welcome to Gen Z Central. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. The time is 14:02 right here on your number one phone news and entertainment, Hot 87.7 FM. My name is George Samuel Perry, and me and the gang are here on the show today to basically chill with you, but even more so have meaningful, impactful conversations right here on Hot FM. We're celebrating 20 years of Hot 87.7 FM, so we are doing it big. Muzakuta this year, Mogambera Hoti, Mukute Nditu. Now, today on the show, we are going to be having a conversation about motherhood as well as the challenges that come with it. And even as we're about to celebrate Mother's Day, we'll be talking about that, even as we explore the unique experiences of young mothers, mothers without children, and stepmothers. Also, we want to encourage you to have an open and honest conversation about it, and you can be able to call in a little later on 0974 870877. That's 0974 870877. And you can be interactive with us on our social media platforms at Hot FM Zambia and be a part of the conversation today.
Gen Z Central.
That's right. This is Gen Z Central on your number one for news and entertainment. And we're vibing right here in studio. But before we go further, we have to take a look at the trends of the week.
We start off on a sad note. There was a heavy downpour just a little over a week ago. And unfortunately, that downpour led to the demise of 3 young brothers of the same family. The session, well, the burial and even the news made a lot of noise, online. For me, it was just intense to see how people reacted to this news. Some people were very empathetic. They put themselves in the shoes of the parents, because the story we hear is that the father had left the kids at home to go get his wife. And when he came back, he received a phone call that the house was on fire. Efforts were made to, tame the fire, but unfortunately, the boys came out of it lifeless. Social media, of course, being social media, the news was twisted, turned, made into the 2 parents should pay. They are so irresponsible. How would you leave 3 kids alone? But of course, understanding that we were not there, and even for the 2 parents, the mother and father, this is a very disturbing time for them. They also don't understand. They also can't put their heads around what happened to lose 3 boys. And then it became, aside from just grieving these 3 boys, you're now being thrusted into the public eye. Your faces are on every single page. Some people are using it for numbers. Some are genuinely, being there for you. And even your grief is distorted, because every single day there's new faces coming in, people bringing donations. But all of these things won't fill the void of losing 3 kids at the same time.
At once. I read Simon Mwewa went on to say, if it was a helper or a maid, rather, she or he would have been arrested by now. But why aren't we not pressing charges on the husband and the woman for leaving their kids? Yeah, you know what I mean?
But what if one of the kids was old enough, to...
7 years old.
Guys, 7 years old, that's who used to remain home alone. No, take care of the kids, 7 years old.
I think in line with that, also with how Namwela is putting it, I mentioned this because I was having a conversation with colleagues at work a day ago. I said how that there are 2 fronts to this story. There is the responsibility side, which is what the parents did, the emotional side. You know what I mean? My wife is caught up in the rain. Let me go and get her. The kids will be fine. It will just be a couple minutes. And then there's the legal side of it, which is you can't leave children who are below, should be 16, and attended to. And that is enshrined in the Children's Code Act 2022. You know what I mean? So there are 2 fronts to it. The legal, you can't, the moment you leave those children unattended, it's called negligence, and you can be jailed for it. And away from it, we know that this is Africa. Usually, even if you tell the police that, nothing will most likely happen. You get what I mean, right? So, yeah.
I also find debating this conversation publicly a little redundant, because in as much as it is it takes a village to raise a child, let's all come together, let's talk about it. I think matters like this should be handled by the family in a situation like this. Social media, like I said, has a way of turning the narrative. We can twist it. Everybody's a lawyer. Everybody knows the law.
Yeah.
Everybody's an expert. So it's like, it's hard to deal with things subjectively when everyone has a perception on what's going on. But of course, we do wish the family our heartfelt condolences. And to keep up with more news, be sure to keep it locked to Hot FM. Next up is Elias Musiani. You will be used as an example,
Of course.
against cyberbullying,
Of course.
and whatever else you did. It's insane. Like I knew that he wasn't going to walk scot-free. Like I knew it. But when the sentencing was made and then other posts came through, I kind of like, my timeline took me back to the voice note, the recorded phone call.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, the biggest artist in the country.
Speak
use
English.
I was like, whoa.
You went as far.
What a monster.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad at the end of the day.
It's not sad.
No, bruh.
It's
Don't-
not
Don't
sad.
be cold. Don't be cold, George. At the end of the day, it is sad. His youth, but
I got what he deserved.
yes, at the other side, he
Yeah.
got what he deserved, because why are you?
It's the consequences of your actions.
Hello, he's-
Dance to the music.
Yes.
You've beat the drum.
He's teaching you people lessons, so don't act some kind of way on social
Nah, even
media.
with the new cyber laws, it's gotten even more intense. If you thought 70,000 and 6 months hard labor is anything, Kulima 500,000, Kulima 5
With our
years.
currency.
So it's only going to get crazier.
Listen, why I feel like it's not sad, why I disagree that it's not sad with Namuela is this. First of all, he threatened Kiddist, and then he allegedly also did bring in her child and mentioned how that he will abduct them and he will abuse them sexually, that is.
And
He will
so
hire
seka
people.
coach.
No, you can't say that.
You can't laugh
You can't
over
say
things
that.
So
like
you
that.
ask, how are you thinking as a person?
If that happens, then Vazamu it can be the first person to be linked, because he said, I'll send people to abduct you and to sexually abuse you and your child, and it's just crazy. And it's not sad. He got what he deserved.
Because why was he even thinking in those lines?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. You as a person, what are you thinking?
Where's your mind at?
I know where his mind was at.
Uh,
he was performing for a crowd of monkeys.
The numbers.
People were clapping. Like,
Yeah,
there were
like,
people that were like, oh my God, someone has shaken them up. They finally met their match. But like, you did all of that for 10,000 reactions on a post. Where are you today?
Yeah.
Where's that post? Like, how is that going to,
Madla.
and it's the mother crying like, oh my son,
Son.
hey, your son did something wrong. And it's caught up with him.
Yeah.
Lastly, the Met Gala happened on Monday night. The fashion critics were all over the place. This looks terrible. This isn't dandy. Every time I heard dandy, I was thinking dandy crazy.
Dandy crazy.
I didn't get the dandy theme. But Rihanna announced baby number 3. No sight of an album, no sight of new music.
Baby number 4 is on the way.
Did she announce?
Rihanna
She showed up.
She just
publicly, finally. And Rihanna with her bumps, she's very, so that bump is about to be cold. Like,
Okay.
she will make the bump go scot-free throughout. So I think she finally said, you know what, here we go.
And somebody said
Another
one
one.
thing her and ASAP are going to do is love on each other, make fashion statements, and hunch a baby.
Yeah,
Or make
that's
a
right.
baby.
But
Oh, the
I think a standout moment for me at the Met Gala was Tiana Taylor and Ego Nodim, who were interviewing the 4th richest actor in the world, Shah Rukh Khan, and they didn't even know who he was. Like, they literally did not know who he was, and social media right now is just going insane because they just didn't know who Shah Rukh Khan was.
Isendisa tingamziwa hapa ziwa.
Nacha Bembeka 19 hours. Like 19 hours every single day, omnibus. That's what it is.
If I ask you guys, who was your best dressed?
Damson Idris.
Savannah James.
I think Auntie Lauryn Hill in that yellow number really came through. It's either Lauryn Hill or Tiana Taylor herself. Those are my 2 best dressed.
And Shabir?
I come back. Hold my cup. Hold my cup.
What about the best couple?
My best dressed was Janelle Monáe. She
Guys-
looked good.
Did you see Lewis Hamilton?
There was Lewis Hamilton.
He was
He was okay, but you
okay.
just see
He was
Janelle.
okay.
Her outfit cover up was already tea. When she removed it, yo.
But
Say tea.
she's.
In my Gen Z language.
I think the biggest question is where was Jidena? Because Jidena basically owns the Met Gala with outfits.
No.
Yes.
I think Janelle did enough. Like, Janelle really did do enough. But yeah, Lewis also did quite okay with the... I was underwhelmed by Zendaya, though.
Yeah, I was about to
What was
say
that? She...
Candice
No,
loves
I
Zendaya.
love
You liked
that.
it? No, it
Yeah,
looked
I think
terrible.
she. No, I think
It
she
was so plain.
always
She looked
does
like she was
it
going
for
to
me.
Civic Center to go
No.
register a
Yeah.
marriage. Yes, guys, no.
And plus, she had someone like wearing the exact same outfit. The only difference was the trousers. How can you match from head to toe?
Okay, what about the best couple? Who did the best couple for you guys?
Riri and ASAP.
Yeah.
Riri and ASAP. I
Prego
think.
and A$AP.
Yeah. Yeah, Prego and
Prego and
A$AP.
A$AP.
They did.
They did the best.
All right, listen, we're going to wind up on this, but you can be part of this conversation a little later on after we get into the music. This one is Jay-Z, Rihanna, Kanye West, Run This Town.
Can't be scared when it goes down. Got a problem, tell me now. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight. Who's gonna run this town tonight? We gonna run this town.
We are, yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance. Get your boutiques on. All black, everything. Black cars, all black, everything. And our girls are blackbirds. Riding with they diligence. I get more in depth if you boys really real enough. This is not familiar. I'll explain later. But for now, let me get back to this paper. I'm a couple bands down and I'm trying to get back. I gave Doug a grip, I lost a flip for 5 stacks. Yeah, I'm talking 5,60, shot zeros. Here, Doug. Back to running circles round. Now we squared up. Hold up.
Life's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. So I keep doing my own thing, walking tall against the rain. Victories within the mile, almost there, don't give up now. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I said it, we are. You can call me Caesar, in a dark Caesar. Please follow the leader. So Eric B, we are. Microphone fiend, it's the return of the God. Peace God. It ain't nobody fresher. I'm in Mason, Martin Margiela on the table screaming. The other side, they jealous. We got a banquet full of bras, they got a table full of fellas. Yeah. And they ain't spinning no cake. They should throw their hand in, cause they ain't got no spades. My whole team got dough, so my bank account is looking like millionaires, bro.
Life's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. So I keep doing my own thing, walking tall against the rain. Victories within the mile, almost there, don't give up now. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
It's crazy how you could go from being Joe Blow to everybody on your know who I'm on. I bought my whole family whips, no Vovos. Next time I'm in church, please no photos. Police escorts, everybody passports. This the life that everybody asks for. This a fast life, we are on a crash course. What you think I rap for? To push a rap for? But I know that if I stay stunting, all these girls only gon' want one thing. I could spend my whole life goodwill hunting. Only good gon' come is as good when I'm. She got an ass that'll swallow up a G-string. And up top, 2 bee stings. And I'm bee sting off the re-sling. And my just made it out the precinct. We give a damn about the drama that you do bring. I'm just trying to change the color on your mood ring. Reebok, baby, you need to try some new things. Have you ever had shoes without shoestrings? What's that, yay? Baby, these heels, is that a made what? Baby, these wheels. You tripping when you ain't sipping, have a refill. You're feeling like you're running, huh? Now you know how we feel.
This is where we get music lives.
Gen Z Central.
Welcome back to Gen Z Central. The time is 14:20 right here on your number one for news and entertainment. Celebrating 20 years of being your number one. And nobody does it better. Others have tried and they haven't done it because we kick game like Van Damn. This is Gen Z Central right here. And
Factor.
No, but it's cool, you guys.
No, that was great though.
No, that was so
We're
dry.
for different vibes here.
Listen, how do Candice and I get it?
Because
Candace
you
is
guys are
just trying to be
dry.
kind.
Anyway, we just wanted you guys to warm up. You look too serious.
All right, now we're about to get into our conversation around our subject for today. But before we do, we'd like to share a couple stories here and there. But first, I'd like to define a couple terms because we did talk about how that we are having a conversation about motherhood. But you can't have a conversation about motherhood without touching on this subject. It's going to be a bit touchy-feely, but we hope we can be able to touch on it well. And we're looking at the pain of abortion. Now, just to define these terms or to be politically correct, abortion is basically the removal of a fetus or baby that has fully developed or is still going to be able to develop. This could be through legal means. This could be saving the mother, or it could be a health complication, or illegal means. That's basically you doing it alone or doing something that will basically remove the child. So understanding that is quite important for you, our dear listeners, so that we can be able to dive into a conversation. Now, many mothers, or rather the goal usually when one gets into marriage, the family saying, when are you going to have a baby? The friends are saying, when are you going to have a baby? And then there are others who are doing things that are outside of marriage, and they get pregnant and they decide to abort, and then they decide to move on like nothing ever happened. And that's a conversation that we're about to have.
Yeah, that's right. I want to share a story about my friend. I really hope she's comfortable with me sharing it, and I'm obviously not going to mention a name. But so there's a friend of mine that I had, or that I have currently. She's in her 21, 22. She's currently 22, but when she was 21, she was dating this guy. So when she was dating this guy, they obviously used to be exclusive. I mean, they were having sex, right?
Yeah.
So the first time she had sex with this guy, she gets pregnant.
Oh no, just once.
On the shot, because she was not on birth control. She never used to take pills or anything. No protection, nothing. So she gets pregnant. So when she gets pregnant, she fails to tell the guy that, oh, daddy, tinkala na mwana. So who she goes to tell is her friends and her mom. So her mom was like, you're still young, you're in school, you're in university, I can't allow you to have a child at this point. Obviously she was looking at, you're going to disgrace the family, this is not how we are, you know what I mean? So she said, you have to take that child out. So obviously the pain that comes with aborting, I've never aborted, but I hear stories of there's this excruciating pain that comes with
and you need to take care of yourself.
So she aborted the first one. Boom, it came out. The mom took her out of school. She was home for a few months. She went back to school again.
Second time.
So
that wasn't it.
That wasn't, yes. Times. So this went on 1, 2, 3 until 8 times, right? So the 7th time, yes, she aborted for 7 times. And then the 8th time, she goes you know what? I can't keep aborting. Let me tell this guy. So she goes.
It was the same guy.
The same guy.
8 times the same guy.
8 times the same guy.
Wow.
I know, right? Like I wish, but she didn't mention. The guy didn't know.
Wait.
That she was
Before you go
aborting
on,
all the time.
it was 7 times the same guy. He was unaware that she was getting pregnant for 7 times.
Yeah, he
and then
thought,
the 8th
okay,
time.
Yeah. So he thought she's taking pills or something like that, you know,
Birth
because she
control,
wasn't saying anything.
days.
It's like,
Oh,
okay, we're
okay.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So then after the 8th time, she tells this guy, like, look, I've been pregnant for a couple of times. Obviously, she lied. She didn't say I've been pregnant for 7 times and I've reported. So she said I've been pregnant for a couple of times, and now
ready.
I wasn't ready, but now I'm currently telling you that I'm pregnant. So I don't know what to do. So he goes like, no, let's keep the child. So in her head, she's thinking, my mother, she won't allow me. I'm still in school, you know what I mean? So she goes back to her mom, says, oh no, this guy has agreed to keep this child. The mom still says, no.
And this time the mom is like furious. Like, how many times are you going to do this? Because I warned you about it. And I told you, you're not ready for a child. You know, it's a lot to have a child. And look at the guy. The guy also is just, he's a
Starting out in life?
Drag the guy. Nothing.
No. I was just going to say he's trying to figure it out as well. So he can't take care of a child. And here he is saying, no, let's keep the child. Meanwhile, he has another child also with another girl.
So then after, what happens is that she obviously takes her mom's advice because
It's the mom.
It's the mother. So she aborts, and then they kind of have a dispute with her boyfriend, and then they split. Currently, this girl is married to somebody else, trying to have kids.
Oh no.
But she can't.
And she's praying every day, going to her mom again. Mommy, what do? I can't have a child. My husband wants a child.
Oh no.
And she's with someone different. So she hasn't told this person that, look, I've been aborting. Probably that's why, you know what I mean?
We spoke of consequences earlier.
Yeah.
These are consequences of your actions. Guys, 8 times of taking away a life because it's not convenient
Even just
or conducive
once.
for you. Even just once.
That's
And I'm an open thinking individual. I like to think that I'm a little too liberal for this country. But no. And not to be heartless, but this is the situation you're in, and you deserve to be at least transparent with this guy and tell him that here's the situation. It can't happen.
First of all, like, what a pickle. The first time, yes, granted, mistake, and advice will come. You can't keep it. Okay, and that's like it's like a free pass. But second, third, fourth, all the way up to number 8 is not. You know what you're doing, and the fact that you are not practicing safe sex, is no protection and everything like that. You know where this is going to lead you. And now the pain comes in where this person who never did anything with you comes in your life. You're now happy and content, and now you feel like, yeah, you can settle and have. Then the reality of your past begins to hit. Which is painful, to say the least. I don't know how I could react in that situation if I was the man and my lady told me, oh, I've done it 75 times. I'm just going to be like, oh. Because at the end of the day, it makes the man start thinking questions like, maybe I'm impotent, or maybe there's something wrong. Let's go for counseling, perhaps. And it's just, what a mess.
I'm not doing it right.
What a mess.
This is something that you would have fixed during the whole time, because after the second time, you would have at least got birth control or something. Because at that point, you know that you're extremely fertile and you need to do something about it.
exactly. No, that's true. And you know, people, we would tell her, they're like, girl, if you can't stop, at least do something. There's protection. There's the pills. There is the what. But you keep doing it over and over again. And then one thing we get from this story is that whatever we do now is important. Because, you know, it will come in the future. You know, it will come back, definitely.
What a mess. This story has me shaking. I don't even know how to feel about this. But hey, this is Gen Z Central on Hot 87.7 FM. We're going to be able to open the phone lines a little later on. Stay tuned to Hot 87.7.
Gen Z Central on Hot 87.7.
That's right, Hot 87.7 FM. We were just having a conversation around the pain of abortion in the midst of those that are desperately praying for children. And that story still has left a chill on my spine. And I'm not messing around like, ish. What a wow. But we'll get into our main conversation today on the show. And our conversation basically today hinges around motherhood, even as we celebrate Mother's Day. And we're also looking at the challenges that come with it. So even more so, if you're a Gen Z mother, if you're a young mother that is tuned in, we encourage you to call. Maybe you're a young father, like that gentleman who is in university from the story. Feel free to call in. But Shabir, I want to be able to understand something, and that is in line with the importance of having a strong support system. I think in this country, and Africa to be exact, we don't have much of a strong support system when it comes to mentioning, oh mom, I'm pregnant, and then the first thing is I'm gonna kill you, you know, that type of thing. So yeah,
I think with the whole African experience and everything like that, from what I have seen, it's like when you first bring it up to your parents, they're going to be obviously upset because this is your future, this is your life, you're ruining it. But then after the child is born and everything, they take control. Like they help like grow the child. Like the child grows within its grandparents, its community and everything like that.
And it's not your kid anymore.
Yes, it's
basically
everyone's kids.
Yeah.
But at the start of the thing is where you feel their pain, where they don't support you, where they're upset with you whilst you're pregnant. It's not a nice feeling, let me say that.
I don't think it's anything to do per se. Okay, let me put it like this, nobody can be happy that you are pregnant as a teenager. I mean, you're 19, and then you go and mention to your parents that, oh mom, by the way, I'm pregnant, and then you're, oh my daughter, I'm so proud of you. This is not the US where that can actually happen, or the West, you know what I mean? In Africa, because we live by morals, we live by code, you have to come to a point where you mature, because maturity does play a critical role, especially in adapting to the responsibilities of parenting. But you know, you're just 20, you're just 19, you're just 18, and then all of a sudden you're pregnant, and to a great extent your body is not even ready for the changes that the pregnancy will bring. And this is where you find like complications because you got pregnant at a young age. Because Wellington, I think you understand this better, what's like a good age to get pregnant?
Above 21.
Above 21.
Yeah, like you.
What are you celebrating?
Next we'll be celebrating a smaller Gen. Someone in
Captain
the
Alpha.
Yeah, but like true, there's complications, you know, below that age, and also complications after 45. So I think the two ages between 21 to 40 is when you are able to, your body has fully developed.
Let me start planning.
Okay, but now we're talking about these teenage mothers. The things happen, okay? Probably they didn't have this good education about sex or whatever it is, protection and everything like that. But then what happens now that these people are there? They are teenage mothers. So I think this is where Shabia is trying to say a good support system is needed. You know, like our friend that we spoke about and everything, her mom was there, you know, and I think her mom tried to tell her like, hey, your education is important, this is important, that. But then that support system is really needed.
Speaking of which, there was a story, I don't know if it was early this year or last year, allegedly so the story is the teenage mother who was like what, 15 or 16? 15 years old, wasn't taking care of the baby, but when the grandmother wanted to take care of the baby, she would be upset that the grandmother is taking care of the baby. When the grandmother tried to do a couple things here and there, she was always upset and stern with the grandmother. And I think that brings to your point where somebody is not properly educated, but they want to take care of the baby, and then they don't know how to actually accept that they have a support system around them, which brings us to a question of balance. But yeah,
are you ever ready to take care of a child as a mother? Mostly because we see mothers, you're never ready.
There's
I think
ever
you're
like
ready.
a season where you're like, oh, I feel like I'm ready. There's so much uncertainty with kids, but when you become the mother, there's things that God has put in you, or that womanhood has put in you, and you just rise
I
up
think
to the
I've
occasion.
heard somebody say, I think we were ready. You know, you need to I think you need to set your mind. You agree with your partner to say, okay, I think we're ready financially. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready to
no,
have a
fine,
child.
you're ready
As a
outside,
mother,
but like
outside
the
the scope
instinct of mothering,
is-
it comes when the child is there.
Yeah. It's a primal instinct, basically.
Financially, you can be ready. You've got this house. You've bought the diapers. Ulinayo vonse veliko. But you, as a mother, like, are you ready to raise a kid?
Another human
Yes.
being.
Yes. So like when you try to talk about these teenage pregnancies, like the child is just a child. She's having a child, but she's also a child. So now how are you going to balance your life? Because now you have your social life, you have your education, you have the future ahead of you. How do you balance all this just because you have another human being that you have to take care of?
There's no balance. Your life has changed. No, like honestly,
Yeah,
I think you need to
it will sound
adapt.
rude.
No.
I don't think you need to adapt.
You need to change.
If you really wanted to still have a social life, go out, yada yada yada, then you shouldn't have had the kid
But
in the
things
first place.
happen.
So the fact that things happen means you should now become that
Change.
person who things have happened to. You can't be the same person prior to the child.
I think you can balance it.
No.
I don't think there's a balance. You need to accept that you are now
Yes,
a
you
mother,
accept.
and this is going to be with you for the rest of your life. You would have had a life prior to this, but you decided to cut it short.
So Wellington has a solution, basically. He says, Vashtika. I think the thing that would be a necessity now would be advocating for better sex education, especially in schools. You know, there's SRHR now, sexual reproductive health rights, and so on and so forth. We need such facilitations in schools too. We can't deny the fact, and this has been said, it's so cliche now, that young people are outside having sex or doing things that they shouldn't be doing at a young age. And it's now the responsibility of both parents as well as teachers or guardians, to be specific, to inculcate the fact that if they're going to do it, even if you tell them don't do it, practice safe sex. If they can't do the ABCs, which you grew up with, the abstinence, the be faithful, the condomize, just be safe, you know, and everything like that.
Okay, yeah, no, you guys, I don't agree with you guys.
Mm.
I think this has happened. You are now a mother, right? I think you can balance it up to say, this has happened, you accept it, and you say, I'm raising this child, but then I'm still gonna go to school, okay? I'm still gonna become who I want to be. I'm still gonna raise this child. I'm still going to do this. In the meantime, that's why we have supportive systems. Okay, so you have your grandma, your mom. They can take care of the child
But
in the
that's
meantime
not their
and do your
responsibility.
schooling. No,
And
it's
honestly,
not.
I think we're saying the same thing, because that's exactly what I'm saying too. That you would have had this life of independence, but
Easier.
you've cut it short. And now that you've cut it short, it's not my problem.
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
your parents' problem.
It's not.
It's you.
Your problem.
You are now going to dance to the beat of this tune.
And you think of how to balance it up and still
There's
continue.
no
with
balance.
it. No, you're
That's your
not.
life. You have changed. This is now who you are.
You need to incorporate now. Now that there's a new human being, what do
Okay,
you
yeah.
do?
What do you do? Yes, meaning you now think of balancing it up.
How are you going
You
to balance
adapt to
it?
the fact that you accept that, okay, I have this child now. How can I balance it? Now that's up to you. Yes.
Maybe the word balance is not
No,
making
that's
sense.
what that's not an option. But it's not like you can juggle. No, this person is here, and so are you. But the ideal of being a mother is you are giving everything that you have or you are to this person.
But
You
away
truly
from
love them.
the balance, now it's about how society begins to view you, because you got pregnant at 18, you got pregnant at 20 or 19. In any case, now the society has got a view about you.
And life just becomes twice as hard because life is already hard. Now you have something else that's also bringing you problems.
Life's hard? I didn't know that.
Okay, aside from that, let's talk about or celebrate mothers without children, like those mothers that can't have they're not mothers, women without children, those ones that can't have a child because of a medical issue, or those ones that don't choose to have children.
They choose not to have children.
There's the choose not to have children,
You're about
and
to
there's
beat the mothers who choose not to. Just like they choose.
they
to
choose
not
to not
have
have
No, there are those
children.
women who are like, independence first, my career first. No, I can't do this because I'll lose my shape and all that.
But
But
they're
you
married.
still want to be,
I think it's always great to plan. It's nothing wrong. I've heard that before, especially with people that are married. They said, "Oh, we'll only have a kid after like 4 years or 5 years. Let me first finish my degrees, or let's get our finances in order. We'll use protection. There's now birth control measures and so on and so forth." So I think it's okay to plan before you actually have a baby prematurely. These are parents that might mistreat the baby or might not necessarily take good care of the child because they didn't plan to have the child in the first place.
Okay, and those women that just can't have a child, but they're loving, they're caring, they want that child, but then they can't have a child due to their medical conditions.
I think mothers come in all shapes and sizes. With like Candice, speaking of mothers, but not only just like mothers who can't have kids, but also mothers who aren't necessarily your mother but have shown that instinct. I feel like my older sister Omega, is very much a mother to my siblings, except for me because I'm also very independent. But I think she's very much a mother.
Is the word.
Yeah, I feel like she's very much a mother to my siblings. Also, there was a time, where like my mother wasn't around, and then my mother's sister stepped in. Actually, her sisters stepped in. Candice has a very unique story of a grandmother who is a mother. So there's all of those, sorry Candice, I had to drag you into this conversation. But yeah, like there's all of these different genres of mother. I feel like one of the most underrated versions of mothers are teachers, especially kindergarten and grade 1 to 5. Like, those are our mothers. Like, there's no one who will love you, teach you, train you, and if they do it right, like your primary school teachers are just a splendid version of mother.
That's right. We open the phone lines now on 0974 870877, 0974 870877. And the question that we are asking is, what is your ideal mother figure? What is your ideal mother figure? 0974 870877. And we have our first call.
Hello, you're through to Hot FM. Who are we talking to and where are you calling us from?
Good afternoon. My name is Jaja.
Jaja?
Yes, and as an older person listening to your program, I must say that today's conversation is one of the most stimulating I have heard among young people. I would like to commend you for that.
Thank you so much.
I agree with the point of view that when somebody gets pregnant as a teenager or at whatever age they get pregnant, your life has changed. And the reason your life changes is because you are now a parent. Every parent makes sacrifices for their children so that their children can have a better life than they did. So even yourselves as young people must always understand. You could go and ask what kind of sacrifices your parents made or your guardians made to sort of pave the way for you. So it means that balancing doesn't. It means that I'll still be in the hustle trying to get what I need to get for my kids. But it means that you forget yourself a bit. It means that now you're not going to go and watch Sheffield with your friends in YouTube.
Exactly.
You have a baby at home.
Okay, thank you for calling through.
You are going to sacrifice some of those things to make sure that you make the best life, because even if you have a support system, no one is as responsible for your child as you are.
That's right.
Exactly. Thank you for calling through.
Welcome.
No one is responsible. That's your kid.
It's your baby.
It's your baby. You and the person who gave you the baby. Let's not
If they are
the
around.
men. Yes, let's not even the men that ran away. If they are around, you are also responsible for a child instead of coming to claim him when he becomes Zambia's biggest superstar.
Ooh.
Claim him now. We have somebody on the line. Hello, you're through to Hot FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. May I know who we're speaking to and where you're calling us from?
Okay, Muyambangwa.
Muyambangwa, okay.
Yeah, anyway, the topic sounds very good. Yeah, it's very responsible.
So,
and then, your topic is good, so I would want to urge all those youths that who have fallen prone to maybe getting pregnant early or being a father early, just to take your advice and at least be responsible. Otherwise, you're keeping a very good topic.
Thank you so much.
All right.
0974-870877. That is 0974-870877. And you can be able to have a conversation with Gen Z Central.
And if you are a Gen Z, you can win a movie ticket if you call through.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, we're going to get back into the music this afternoon, and we're dedicating this one to all the mothers because here is J Cash, JC Kalinks, as well as Dismo.
JC Kalinks. Woody Beats go crazy. For the gentleman I am, bless you. Never rich, I never had the best shoes, but whenever I fell off, you came through. Now I'm out here living life, cause you pray for me every night. In I am a Nike ni mwebo. I think in kami we kept a payroll. Mama, I'm grateful. Munani kulikalak. Mwawombe ni pa kumfisha napa. He would then tattoo on my shoulder, so can't nobody mess with you. I'm your soldiers, jami kwapu ni shinalila. Mzaka vutika ni kamwalila. Ndiye mauyana nilimbisa. Let me say I know how a crook look cause of you. I know I'm a cute dude cause of you. Cause of you, sninga menye mukazi. Nkalibo fwembapo muntu mushati. Now look how they love me, ma. Mongas nachokepo mamina. I'm about to be the next Bieber cause I was raised by the best teacher. I love you, ma. Family yose tina pampa mumudi mufiashi fulu mesi ku Argentina pepodi antikupa gelo wa wambo mutima noti pita fulu ni tequila I owe you alone no wonder mwale swambo na masagadi before she la pisha nchufa bwidonga ndeda ndani no voice pamulu mama forgive me di pepodi no lialenga tufike
J Cash, JC Kalinks, and Dismo. What's the one thing that you love about your mother? 0974-870877. Beautiful piece of music coming in right there. But also, a thing that I want us to dive into, away from just, having great mothers, is the fact that sometimes we can't escape the fact that we grow up with stepmothers. And not all stepmothers are known for taking good care of their children. Majority of them in Africa actually are known for being evil and for just mistreating children.
Nigerian.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that it's the Nigerian films that have caused us to paint stepmothers in that light, Mm-hmm. But prior to this, guys, I believe there was a point when polygamy was kind of like normal and was part of society. Your father had to marry like 3, 4, 5 wives. Not had to, but he did. He wanted to. And he kept good care of them. I actually know of a friend who comes from a polygamous home, and they live on a farm, and there's like 3 wives, but the father knows all his 34 children. Like, he knows them by name. He shows up to their school things. If he can't, he sends his brothers. So the idea of a terrible stepmother is not in the role. It's in the person who takes on that role. If you as a personality are just terrible, you are a horrible human being, you don't see value in taking care of a flower even though you didn't plant it, then you need to change. Like, I really don't think the role of stepmother should be, agonizing. Of course, it comes with a lot of things. You're moving into, let's say, a man's house. He has an ex-wife. The ex-wife is still present in his life. His family loves the ex-wife. So you're now like in a place where you can't echo out your frustration, but there's now this kid who's a reminder of all of these baggage, all this baggage that you found in the house, and you're taking it out on him. I think that's a personality thing. Like, you're just a terrible human being. It's not because the role is agonizing. You need to change your character.
Allow me to say something thought-provoking. If you love, if let's say, Shabir, you have a kid, right? And we fall in love, and I don't have a kid. And if I'm not ready for the responsibility or for the baggage that you come with in the relationship, I should let you go. Because I will start abusing I'll start abusing your child. And because I wanted you, not the child, it's you that I'll take care of, not the child. So if I'm not ready for the responsibility of what you come with to take it on as my own, leave me alone.
Personally, I have heard so many stories of, my stepmom doesn't love me, whatever. I come from a family where I have a stepmom, and oh my God, if there's anybody that I love the most in this world, is my stepmom. She's like
Your mom is
literal.
listening, by the way. Your mom
love
is
you too.
on
No, my mom is a strict mom. Like, my mom is super strict. Don't drink, don't go out, pay attention at school, don't have a boyfriend. That's my mom. She's a very straightforward, like, you know what I mean. Then there's my stepmom. She's the chilled one. I have a boyfriend, what does he do? She'll help you. Don't talk to him, don't do this, don't that, these are your limits. That's my stepmom. My stepmom, if you need money, you can just pick up your call. May please na papa tani liben drum. My mother, she'll question you why you want the money, where the loan, the money that she sent you last week, like, she's but my stepmom she's a very, like, she's chill, you know what I mean? And when I hear a lot of people talk about, my stepmom is very she doesn't like me, and I'm like, I can't relate, I really can't relate.
All right, we have a final call.
Hello, you're through to Hot FM. May we know who we're speaking to and where you're calling us from?
Hi, this is Emily.
Hello.
I'm Emily from Kanyama.
Okay. What's your ideal mother figure?
A mother to me is a woman, any woman who can be.
Emily, please reduce the volume on your radio set. We are getting feedback.
Sorry.
Yes, that's okay. Please, you can continue.
A woman who can be a mother. I mean, from 13, 14 years and older. Yes, who is loving, caring, concerned about anyone younger than she is, or even anyone. We can still be mothers to people who are our age mates, who are older to us. We can still be mother figures.
Yes. All right, Emily, thank you for calling through. Because you called through, you're going to win yourself a free ticket to Levy Cinemas, and you can go between Monday to Thursday with a friend. It's a +1 ticket, so you can just go through to Levy Cinemas and watch a movie. Just say Gen Z Central sent you.
Wow.
You're welcome.
All right, that was Emily calling right there, and we're about to close up on the conversation. But before we do, Candice, you had a thought to share.
Well, I just wanted to add on to Namila's point to say shout out to all the stepmothers that are, that are caring and all that. But then, there's something that I've been thinking about. There are those mothers who, Wellington, getting to your point, there are those stepmothers who maybe agreed or accepted to take care of that child because she loves the man. You understand? Yeah, she loves the man. But then as time goes and all that child is now grown and whatnot, and that child has maybe now a stronger bond with her mom or his mom, and then this woman now is hurt. Okay, this woman is hurt to say, okay, where have you been all this time? I don't know. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I think you can't, in as much as you can be a mother figure, you never replace the need for a mom.
Yeah.
Everyone will go back, like, even when they're adopted, people will still ask, who's my mom, who's my dad, you know? And I don't get it. If I adopted you and you ask for your mom and your dad, we have a problem. Like, we have a serious problem. But
So
I
you're
understand
using
it
me.
again. Yes, like, I understand it again. Like, you just want to get the bond, and the fact that you as that mother who took care of the person are feeling this way, it's genuine love. Like, you genuinely had a bond, and even though the emotion is negative, it's still pure love. Like, that's why you're hurt.
At the end of the day, you can't blame me for wanting to know who my mother was. Honestly, the only reason as to why I want to know who she is to understand the personality traits that I have myself, you know, because they didn't obviously come from you, my dear Auntie Mercy. That's my mother's name. But they came from you, Priscilla, who's my mother, you know what I mean? So I want to know how I am, like why I act the way I act, why my hair is long, why it's short, you know?
Okay, look, yes, I understand that, and I think people understand that, like the mothers understand that. But my point is, I'm giving a shout out to those mothers who, they agree to say, okay, fine, you can go know your mom, but it hurts at the end of the day, because I've been there for you this whole time. I've raised you as my daughter, my son, you know, and it's now time for you to go and know whoever your mom or your dad is. So my shout out is to those mothers that have, the stepmothers that have been there, that have loved those kids no matter what, and despite that child reminding them that my husband was a player or something.
All right, we have a couple text messages here, and you can also text in on 0974-870877, 0974-870877. We've closed the phone lines for calling, but you can be able to text. This message says there's much more to life than sex, people. Dr. Jones Chivube, he also say Chivube, he says sex is not everything. Thank you very much, Dr. Jones, for coming through. Another person says pregnancy when you're not ready is a no-go area. There's no ID on this one, but you can text in because we've closed the phone lines for phone calls. 0974-870877. Yeah, that's right. So before we close up on the show, we were talking about stepmotherhood and also how that open communication and therapy can help families blend. And the team here is basically sharing that you've been raised by a stepmother who's done everything for you, and now you're at a point where you want to search for a birth mother. Wellington can slap you and, and everything in between.
Yeah, before we close off,
Yeah.
Shout out, Mother's Day is tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I want you guys to describe your mother. It can be your birth mother, the person that has raised you currently. I want you to describe them in like 3 words.
I have one word. Mpondo. One last.
Describe Wellington. Shabir.
I don't think I can just use one word for each point I wanted to say. No, like exactly. I want to describe my mother in 3 words, but then those 3 words can't be words. They have to be sentences.
Okay, say the sentence.
So I would say a woman of God, someone who shows their love. She's got tough love, and she's supportive.
For me, it's Superwoman.
Oh,
That's cute.
that's cute. Hilarious. You need to continue being amazing, and I'm not going to give you a Chilangamurilo anytime soon. I was waiting. Those are my, not anytime soon.
You know.
Listen, thank you very much for joining us on Gen Z Central today on the show. It has been a huge pleasure hosting you. We'll be back again on Saturday. We'll leave you with music coming through from B-Flow featuring Barack Obama, the former president of America. From here, it's God Bless You. Nono Zaza is coming on.
Zambia Plant Stew, where's Brian? Where is it?
Dear mama, I'm chilling with Obama, and he's telling me he's proud of me. Oh mama, I'm dying. and I wish you were here with me. Mama, you the genesis of my story.